Hey everyone, this is Matt from Rane DJ here, and we're here at the Manchester showroom of Bop DJ, and today we're going to be going over some of the features of the Rane 72 and the 12. Okay, so here we are with the Rane 72 mixer. Now the Rane 72 features Rane's brand new Mag 3 fader design, which we can see here. Not only is it present on the crossfader, but also this fader assembly we use in our channel faders as well. It is contactless end-to-end technology, and also user adjustable from the screw here, which will move the magnet closer or further from the rail. The Rane 72 features a touch-enabled screen. If we tap the view button, we can scroll between our Serato crates and playlists, and also our moving waveform display. Tapping effects will bring up our effects matrix. Here we can see our Serato effects, but also our hardware-based flex effects. Other ways that the touchscreen is touch enabled is we have a needle drop and search function, and also we can tap for time ascending or descending depending on user preference. Okay, so let's talk about how the effects interact with Serato and also our inbuilt hardware effects. Here we can see our 3 Serato effects stacked on top of our flex effects. Now to select a flex effect, we simply tap the blue box and cycle through using the bank button. So in the case of the echo, I press that and tap flex effects and move the paddles, and we can adjust the depth using the encoder. Obviously all the flex effects are post fader. Now if we choose another, I simply tap again, and this time we'll select the hold echo. Now if I want to deep dive on that effect, if we go back to the echo, we simply double tap, and there will reveal our high pass cut-off, depth and feedback. So if I engage the effect again, now there are many things that make the 72 unique. One of these is the way the effects can be stacked on top of each other. So if we go back to our Serato effects, I can choose any 3 of my Serato effects or combine all of them with any chosen flex effect. So I can engage a high pass filter in Serato and also edit this on the fly. Now I can also combine this with any of the next effects. And I can add one more as well. Okay, so our effects are activated using these solid aluminium paddles in a momentary or latching style. And these are user definable as well. We can actually lift this plate up and turn these paddles 180 degrees depending on the user's preference. Now because the 72 screen is touch enabled, we have access to an XY axis touch enabled effects matrix. Used in isolation, this is a filter. We can add any of our flex effects on top of it. If we tap bank and then scroll, now we can combine the filter with any of our flex effects. For this example, I'll be using the flanger. I can scroll again, and this time choose an echo. So the 72 features some very unique pad effects. Here we have our pad effects section, which consists of a spin back, wind down, gate and echo out. So as you can see, the effect shortens the further we move down the yellow pads. The same is true with spin back. Also with a gate, which shortens the further we get down the pads. Then when we move to the echo out, we can actually combine this with any of the gate, spin back or wind down effects. So here we have a long echo out on the last pad, all the way down to a short echo out on the first pad. So let's combine this now with the spin back. And now a wind down. So let's talk about our fader effects. Now with the fader effects, we have 8 different gate patterns represented on the pads. Now these gate patterns actually represent what are called crab scratch patterns. So for those of you who aren't turntablists, crab scratching is essentially applying pressure on the thumb of the crossfader and literally tapping it using either 3, 2 or sometimes even all 4 of the fingers in this sort of motion here. So with the fader effects, we'll hear the different patterns as we move through them. Now one of the great fail-safe that's built into the Rane 72 is our transport mode, and that's accessed by tapping slicer, and you'll see the pads change colour. What each of these pads represent, here we have our pause and play. The blue pads represent our pitch bend, and the yellow pads represent movement of the pitch fader in serrato. We can also access, on the purple and yellow pads, our sync and key lock features. So, in the event of something like we're using this with 2 turntables and both decks go down, or we're using it with a media player and that goes down, we have full mix control just from the pad section. So to give an example of that, that would be something like this. So what I'm going to do is just take deck 2 out of sync and then adjust the pitch using the pads and then bring the track in. So I'm moving the pitch fader now, and then micro adjusting using the pitch bend. The 72 actually ships with Pigeon Time plugin in the box. Now Pigeon Time allows you to do many creative things with key points. So for this example, we're going to use an a cappella. So the way Pitch Time works on the 72 is if we tap Q twice, this brings up our Pitch and Time display. Now the pads move in semitones. If you want to shift those up, we simply use our parameter button either left and right.
Just ain't good enough. Just ain't good enough. Just ain't good enough. Just ain't good enough. Just ain't good enough.
To get to our main menu in the 72, we hold down Shift and then tap Menu. Here we can adjust our mixer settings such as audio out, deck settings if we have to compensate if we're using a faulty turntable and boost the input on the phono stage. That will be done here. But also, one of the most important things is our cut adjustment. So like most mixers, we can adjust the cut in, the crossfader, using the panel at the front, but also when we're on the screen, we can tap fader, select the position, set the left position, tap again, move the fader, select the right position, and then tap again. The same also applies to our up faders as well. So once our cut-ins are adjusted, we can actually achieve a tighter feel on the crossfader. Okay, so let's talk about the Rane 12. The Rane 12 is our true vinyl feel motorised Serato deck controller. We're able to access up to 4 decks just from one 12, and this is dependent on the type of mixer we have connected to Serato DJ Pro. In the case of the Rane 72, which is a 2-channel club kit enabled mixer, we can access decks 1 and 2 from the unit. To access deck 3 and 4, that would require a 4-channel club kit enabled mixer. An example of this will be the Denon DJ X1800 mixer. Okay, so let's talk about the features. On the top left, we have our strip search on this ribbon controller. If I press Q mode, this is where we access our cue points. Now we can actually input cue points on the fly simply by tapping an empty space on the ribbon. If we hold down Q mode, this will then allow us to delete cue points as we see fit. We also have a 100mm centre dent pitch fader with pitch ranges of 8, 16 and 50 available. On the rear of the 12 is our torque. We have 2 settings, a low torque and a high torque. Our low torque actually adjusts to more of a Technics 1200 feel, whereas a high torque will be our instant stop-start motor. Now make no mistake, this is a true turntable in every sense of the word, even to the point where we can actually perform wind downs. Now this is a real piece of vinyl. The 45 spindle acts as our sensor which communicates to Serato. Now this turntable platter is capable of 3600 ticks of revolution, which is technically more accurate than noise map. Now in order to adjust our vinyl, if I spin this round, you'll see we have a little indent on the spindle. Using our Allen wrench, we can adjust this to our user preference. Once we line this up with the notch on the spindle, we can actually raise the vinyl up or down and then tighten or loosen as desired. Okay, so that's a quick rundown of some of the features of the Rane 72 and the Rane 12 controller. Don't forget to pre-order yours from Bop in store or online. Thanks for watching.